Topics covered in Chapter 3: Plant Kingdom: Algae, Bryophytes, Pteridophytes, Gymnosperms, Angiosperms, Plant life cycles and alternation of generations. Algae are simple, chlorophyll-bearing, thalloid, autotrophic and largely aquatic organisms. Reproduction: vegetative, asexual and sexual methods. The algae are divided into three main classes: Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae. Chlorophyceae, commonly known as green algae, their plant body may be unicellular, colonial or filamentous. Phaeophyceae, commonly known as brown algae, these are found in marine habitats. Rhodophyceae, commonly called red algae due to the predominance of the red pigment, phycoerythrin in their body. Algae are simple, chlorophyll-bearing, thalloid, autotrophic and largely aquatic, both freshwater and marine, organisms. They are found in various habitats, soils, moist stones, wood, and soils. Few form associations with fungi, lichen, and animals. Reproduction: vegetative, asexual and sexual methods. Asexual reproduction is by the production of different types of spores, commonly the zoospores. Vegetative reproduction is through fragmentation. Sexual reproduction occurs via the fusion of two gametes. These gametes can be flagellated and similar in size, as in Eulothrix, or non-flagellated, non-motile, but alike in size, as in Spirogyra. Such reproduction is called isogamous. The algae are divided into three main classes: Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae. Chlorophyceae, commonly known as green algae, their plant body may be unicellular, colonial or filamentous. They are usually grass-green as a result of the dominance of pigments chlorophyll A and B. The pigments are localized in definite chloroplasts. Most of the members have one or more storage bodies called pionoids, contain protein-based starch, found in the chloroplasts. Vegetative reproduction usually takes place by the formation of different types of spores or fragmentation. Asexual reproduction is by flagellated zoospores produced in zoosporangia. The sexual reproduction depicts variation in the formation and type of sex cells, and it may be isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous. Examples: Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Eulothrix, Spirogyra. Phaeophyceae contains chlorophyll A, C, xanthophylls, and carotenoids for photosynthesis. Stores food as complex carbohydrates like laminarin or mannitol. Vegetative cells have a cellulosic wall covered by a gelatinous coating of algin. Protoclast includes plastids, a centrally located vacuole, and a nucleus. Plant body anchored to substratum by a holdfast, with a stalk, stipe, and leaf-like organ, frond. Asexual reproduction through biflagellate pear-shaped zoospores with two unequal lateral flagella. Vegetative reproduction through fragmentation. Sexual reproduction may be isogamous, anisogamous, or oogamous. Examples include Ectocarpus, Dictyota, Laminaria, Sargassum, and Fucus. Rhodophyceae, red algae, commonly known as red algae due to the predominance of the red pigment, phycoerythrin. Mostly found in marine environments, with higher concentrations in warmer regions. Can thrive in well-lighted regions near the water's surface and at great depths with limited light. Some red algae have complex body organization. Food is stored as Floridian starch, similar to amylopectin and glycogen in structure. Vegetative reproduction occurs through fragmentation. Sexual reproduction involves non-motile gametes and asexual reproduction through non-motile spores. Sexual reproduction is oogamous, with complex post-fertilization developments. Examples include Gelidium, Porphyra, Polysiphonia, and Gracilaria. Bryophytes are commonly found in moist-shaded areas in the hills. They include various mosses and liverworts. They are referred to as amphibians of the plant kingdom as they live in soil but depend on water for sexual reproduction. Their plant body is more differentiated compared to algae. It is thallus-like and erect, attached to the substratum by multicellular or unicellular rhizoids. True roots, stem or leaves are absent. However, they may possess root-like or stem-like structures. Their plant body is haploid, producing gametes, hence they are called gametophytes. Male sex organs are called antheridium and the female sex organs are called archegonium. They give rise to a multicellular body known as sporophytes that are attached to the photosynthetic gametophytes, deriving its nourishment from them. The bryophytes are divided into liverworts and mosses. Liverworts, they are found in moist, shady regions such as marshy ground, banks of streams, damp soil, bark trees, and deep in the woods. Plant body is thalloid. Asexual reproduction is through fragmentation or formation of gemma. The sporophyte is differentiated into foot, seta, and capsule. Mosses, gametophyte has two stages, protonema stage and the leafy stage. Fragmentation and budding is observed in secondary protonema in the vegetative reproduction, while in sexual reproduction, the sex organs are produced at the apex of leafy shoots. Sporophytes in mosses are more elaborate than that in liverworts. Pteridophytes, found in damp, cool and shady places. They may also be found in sandy soil conditions. They include ferns and horsetails and have medicinal purposes and soil binders, also frequently grown as ornaments. They are the first terrestrial to possess vascular tissues, xylem and phloem. Plant body is a sporophyte, differentiated into true root, stem and leaves, and possess a well-differentiated vascular tissue. Sporophytes bear sporangia subtended by sporophylls. Sporangia produce spores by meiosis, which germinate to produce the prothallus. Most of them are homosporous, similar kinds of spores, some others may be heterosporous, macro and microspores. The pteridophytes are further classified into four classes: Psilopsida, Psilotum, Lycopsida, Selaginella, Lycopodium, Sphenopsida, Equisetum, Anteropsida, Dryopteris, Pteris, Adiantum. Gymnosperms, they include medium-sized trees or tall trees and shrubs. Ovules are not enclosed by any ovary wall and remain exposed, before and after fertilization. The roots are generally tap roots. Roots in some genera have a fungal association in the form of mycorrhiza, pinus, while in some others, cycas, small specialized roots called coralloid roots are associated with N2, fixing cyanobacteria. The stems are branched, pinus, cedrus, or unbranched, cycas. The leaves may be simple or compound. The leaves in gymnosperms are well adapted to withstand extremes of temperature, humidity, and wind. In conifers, the needle-like leaves reduce the surface area. Their thick cuticle and sunken stomata also help to reduce water loss. They are heterosporous. Strobili bear two kinds of spores, microsporophylls and microsporangia. Unlike earlier forms, in gymnosperms, the male and the female gametophytes do not have an independent free-living existence. Angiosperms occur in diverse habitats and have specialized structures called flowers for pollen grains, ovules, and seeds enclosed in fruits. Provide various commercially important products like fuel, food, and medicines. Divided into two classes, monocotyledons and dicotyledons. Monocots have single cotyledonous seeds, parallel leaf venation, trimerous flowers, and 3 members in each floral whorl. Dicots have 2 cotyledons, reticulate leaf venation, and tetramerous or pentamerous flowers. Flowers have male, stamen, and female, pistil, sex organs. The pistil consists of an ovary with ovules. Each ovule has a megaspore mother cell that undergoes meiosis to form an embryo sac with various cells, including the egg cell, synergids, antipodal cells, and polar nuclei. Double fertilization is unique to angiosperms, involving the fusion of one male gamete with the egg cell to form a zygote, and another male gamete with the polar nuclei to form a triploid primary endosperm nucleus, pen. The zygote develops into an Life cycle of an angiosperm. Plant life cycles and alternation of generations. Plant life cycle. There is a great variation observed in the plant life cycle since different plants exhibit different levels of complexity. In algae, the haplontic life cycle is observed where the sporophyte generation is depicted by only one-celled zygote where there are no free-living sporophytes, and the dominant phase is marked by the gametophyte. Pteridophytes and bryophytes exhibit an intermediate stage known as the haplodiplantic life cycle, wherein the stage is multicellular. Alternation of generations. There are two systems of reproduction in plants, where each is called generation and are related. These two generations are known as the sporophyte and the gametophyte generation, which is a rotation in between the haploid and diploid stages associated with chromosomes in the cells of plants. The haploid generation produces plants with diploid cells, which creates a generation of haploid plants that in turn gives rise to a generation of diploid plants, and the cycle goes on. Thank you. Keep studying.